As always, we welcome in Matthew Arscott of the Matthew Arscott Sports Show. Matthew, we're going to get right into it with the Buffalo Bills, talking about this AFC playoff picture. To me, the Bills are absolutely one of the contenders. I have them going 12-5. You also have them going 12-5. Lockstep on this one. What do you have on the Bills?
Yeah, I love that the Bills have some continuity in Josh Allen. I think he's going to be MVP caliber again this season. We did lose head coach Sean McDermott. I have an opinion on if that was too early of a firing. And I think the answer was yes, but I also get that you have to do something, right? The question this season for me truly is going to be, can Joe Brady, who they just promoted from offensive coordinator to head coach, transform Buffalo from a Josh Allen dependent team into a completely rounded out full team? Buffalo was amazing, top five in almost every category in passing last season. I think their big porous area was their defense and their run stop game. They've fixed that in this offseason by switching around a few things. They did lose defensive end Joey Bosa, but their defense as a whole is kind of reshaped. I love the Bills to go 12-5. I have them winning the AFC East, and I think that they will be one of the top contenders yet again for a potential AFC championship. I just wonder if we are going to be able to see that under Joe Brady.
For me, I mean, we both have them at our two seed in our playoff picture at this point, based off of our records. So, I mean, and both of us have them 12-5. Both of us having them winning the division. The game to watch for me is the Week 5 game against the Rams. Can they show that they're able to go up against the top teams? Because obviously they can beat teams like the Chiefs and the Bengals throughout the season. They've beat these top teams. But when it comes to the biggest moments, that's when they seem to crumble. And I think Week 5 against the Rams will be one of those games that we can really watch intently and say, is this team going to be the same team that plays really well, plays a Josh Allen heavy offense, but falls apart because they just don't have enough pieces around Josh Allen to make that work? We'll find out, and I'm with you. Defensive run game was really their main weakness, and I do think they did a lot to get that figured out. So let's move on to the Miami Dolphins. Tough team to try to figure out because they really don't have a lot of pieces. They brought in a lot of upper management, new head coach, new quarterback, but I just don't think that they have enough to be able to really even compete this season. It's not even close. I do love Malik Willis, and I love Jeff Hafley as the head coach. I love where this team could be in the next 2 to 3 years, but there's obviously just not enough here. I have them going to 4-13. Matthew, you have them going 2-15. What do you have on the Dolphins?
Yeah, so for the Dolphins, I'm not high on Malik Willis like you are. I look at the Dolphins like I look at the Raiders from last season. Raiders came out of the gate and they had a win in the first week over the eventual AFC champion, the New England Patriots. And everyone's like, the Raiders are back. And then they just lose however many in a row that they lost last season. I look at the Dolphins in the same way. Ironically enough, I think they win their first game against the Las Vegas Raiders, but then I have them losing a whole slew of games. Their only other win I have this season for them is the New York Jets. I think there's too much turnover here this season. It is a complete rebuilding year for Miami. I think the only thing that we can look to continuity-wise is Devon Achane. There, he just signed an extension through the 2030 season, 4 years, $64 million guaranteed with $4 million in potential incentives. I think that is the only key centerpiece right now, as the rest are variables. Malik Willis, we have new head coach in Jeff Hafley. So I just don't see the Dolphins having enough structure. It's going to be a rebuilding year, 2-15, one of the bottom teams in the league.
And I don't mind that at all. And like you said, Devon Achane, I think that's a huge part of the reason I think they're going to get to even 4 wins is I really am excited to see the Devon Achane, Malik Willis offense. If Bobby Slowick can kind of figure out how to get this run game going to be able to use this quarterback and running back duo, I think this could be a fun team to watch. But in the end, there's just not enough Jimmys and Joes to make the X's and O's work, right?
Right.
And so I don't mind the 2-15. It's a team that's absolutely in a rebuild for the next year or two.
One more quick stat. They had 4.7 yards per carry last season. That was 3rd in the league for that statistical category. But then they were bottom 5 in almost every other offensive category. So again, if the run game can kind of help shape the rest of the offense under a new quarterback, you may be right. They may have a few more games to sneak away.
Love it. Let's move on to the New England Patriots, the Super Bowl runner-ups. The Patriots are a tough team to figure out because I do feel like they played above the level of this team last year, and yet I think they have a ton of major improvements this year. So how much did they exceed what the actual team was last year versus how much did they improve to get up to that same level this year? Hard to explain. For me, A.J. Brown and Romeo Doubs being added as wide receivers is huge for this team. Drake May is one of the best quarterbacks, especially, I mean, if you look at all of the statistics, he was the runner-up for MVP this last year. Adding these additional weapons in A.J. Brown, one of the best wide receivers in the league, and Romeo Doubs, who I think is an really undervalued wide receiver, this offense really could be explosive. Can the defense match that? I don't know. Matthew, what do you think about this Patriots team?
I love that question that you just asked because I'm going to answer that in my own opinion about the defense. I don't think that they can match their offense. I think their offense took 2 steps forward, but I feel like the defense took 3 steps back in losing guys like linebacker Clavion Chasen and other pieces. I don't know why I'm so low on this Patriots team this season compared to last, because you're right. I look at the statistics on my notes. They are top 5 in almost every passing category next to teams such as divisional rival Buffalo Bills with Josh Allen. That being said, I do think that the Patriots are good enough to really make some noise this season. They definitely, in my opinion, will make the playoffs. They're in my playoff picture for the AFC. I love the A.J. Brown move. I love the Romeo Doubs move. And I know that you, as a Packers fan, probably love that Romeo Doubs move for this New England Patriots team. That being said, they play some really tough teams this year, and they play some really tough offenses in the NFC North. They play the Packers, the Lions, and the Chargers, who are all, in my opinion, really good offenses. That being said, they have to play the Bills twice as well. They play the Seahawks in week 1. They'll play the Steelers in what is Aaron Rodgers' final season. There's just too many tough teams that they play with a questionable defense, so that drops them for me to 10-7. They still make the playoffs though.
And you and I both have them going 10-7, both of us having them making the playoffs. It's not like this team is going to fall out of relevancy, right?
No.
But they just achieved so much last season. It's just hard to reach that again with the team that they have, the schedule that they have. I think we're on the same page there. So let's finish up the AFC East with the New York Jets. The Jets last season, I feel like underperformed, if that's possible. They just had so many weird things go their way. Go against them. I mean, not go their way. Just a record amount of of games in a row without getting an interception. A ton of injuries that it just didn't feel like this team really had an opportunity to mesh. And I don't know if Geno Smith is going to be the answer to be able to fix this team, even in a bridge year. They have a ton of young talent that I think is actually going to be really good for this team. But similar to the Dolphins, it's just a building year. They're not expecting this team to go out and make the playoffs or win the Super Bowl this season. Next season is really where you're hoping that this Jets team shines. Matthew, you're on the same page with me on this. What do you see this year for the Jets, though?
Let's analyze the schedule here. And I should have done this for the rest of the teams, but I saved it for the Jets, right? This division has to play the AFC West and the NFC North this year. That is a tall task for teams like the Dolphins and the Jets. It's less of a tall task for the Patriots and the Bills. They're probably a little bit more equipped to handle those large matchups. I think the only thing holding the Jets back from looking even better than the schedule and record that we're putting them at right now, the final standings, is the fact that they have to play two tough divisions. If they were playing the NFC South, in my opinion, this Jets team could easily be a 500, maybe 500 plus team, which is a pretty bold prediction. But again, really tough schedule this season. They play too many tough teams to really make a comeback. They do lose a few guys. They had to shift a few guys around on the offensive line. They lost Quincy Williams there on the defense, but they are turning back to Geno Smith. And then we can't talk about the Jets without noting that they made 3 first-round picks in the draft. They have made so many moves this offseason that could potentially lead them in the next few years in the future into a really good position. But again, coming off of a season where they were bottom 10 in almost every statistical category, really makes it hard for me to pick them as the favorite in too many of these games on their schedule. That being said, I do think that they take a little bit of a leap up this year, and I like them where I have them. Is this my current one, 6-11?
Yeah, this is yours. I've got them at 5. I've got them going 5-12. You've got them going 6-11. We're pretty close here. For me, like you said, 3 first-round picks. They have pieces that they're building. It's a bridge year. It's not the year yet. And like you said, maybe if they were in the NFC South and had to play the Saints and Falcons twice a year instead of the Bills and Patriots twice a year, maybe that's 4 additional wins, and all of a sudden you're at 10-7. But you're playing powerhouses in your division, teams that are Super Bowl hopefuls, and it's just you don't quite have the pieces this year set up to be able to beat those teams.
I agree.
Well, Matthew, thank you so much for joining NFL Talking Points for the AFC East. Check him out, Matthew Arscott Sports Show on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. Also check him out on Instagram. Matthew, thank you so much for talking with me.
Thanks, Joseph. We'll see ya.